No matter how much shade that Xerox gets for being boring or outdated, one thing compared to some of the other companies that seem to get a lot of the limelight, Xerox makes money, right? Every earnings is positive. They give a heck ton of money back to the dividend holder, the shareholder, in the form of a dividend. I mean, you buy this stock for about $16, and every quarter you're promised 25 cents. I mean, if you do the math, let me pull up a calculator really quick. I mean, 25 cents on a dollar investment every quarter. Let's see, 0.25 divided by about $16. That's over 1.5% or about 6% per year. That's not bad for just owning this stock. So a lot of the investors don't care really if Xerox goes up or down in price. They're actually okay with it staying sideways because they're making 6% just by owning the stock. And so these are the stocks that are great for selling premium. And we did talk about this a couple weeks. It is one of my favorite premium selling stocks. But I wanted to point it out, Sip, because one of the things that we teach our folks and what maybe our viewers could take away is that anytime our underlying symbol crosses from one half of the sideways choppy channel to the other, which is right now, we're right in that center zone. I wanted to feature this one because this is the perfect time to go back and reevaluate our trade plan on any premium selling positions. So, what I wanted to say is if you're following Xerox now, these days, this past week, and even today, go back and make sure where you see resistance is where you see resistance. It hasn't changed. Make sure where you've got your bailouts for risk protection, they're in the right place. Make sure you've got where you're going to put your protective options, what strike price you're going to choose. Visit that. And then, as far as any sort of simulations to understand the risk and the reward calculations, use some new options and use some new scenarios. The perfect time to do that, and you might want to write this down, everybody, is whenever a premium selling position crosses the center of the channel. So I just want to give everybody a heads up that Xerox is on your watch list. Take a moment and redo your plan, update it, make it fresh. It's kind of like a sports team, Sip. It's like after every game, the football teams don't just go back with their playbook back into the locker room and play the same plays. Those coaches go back the night after that game and they update all of their plays and all their plans. And the next weeks before the next game, they're teaching their football players how to play those new plays. And they always come back and they're always keeping fresh. That's what we got to do because basically we're playing the game here with the option strategies.
Yeah, and looking at the price at that 16 mark, it really makes the options components very uh easily tradable, right? Like you don't
Yeah.
need to put up as much capital.
No.
Let me ask this. Would someone with like, I don't know, a $2,500 portfolio be able to put a options trade on?
So the scoop is it's a combination of your portfolio size and it's a combination of your risk appetite. So what we like to do is we like to calculate when we create our plans. This is all expelled out in our program, but also it's explained in that workshop that you talked about earlier. What we like to do is we like to figure out what's the worst thing that could happen to us before our bailouts or our hedges, our protective options kick in. How bad could it be? And once we know how bad it could be, we then compare that to how much we're willing to risk. And we do a calculation, and that'll tell us how much of our portfolio we can invest. So if you're willing to risk a little bit more, then perhaps a $2,500 portfolio would work with this. If you're willing to risk 4% of your portfolio, then perhaps you could get this to go. You'd have to crunch the numbers and do the plan. And that's something we teach. And we also give away software tools that do a lot of the math where you can make errors, like make, rounding errors and stuff. it does it all for you. That's what a lot of people like in our program, SIP, is that we do that all for them.